You are savages, every last one of you. Being an unapologetic young conservative today requires it. You're harassed on high school and college campuses. Your values are ridiculed by insufferable teachers and professors who probably couldn't run a lemonade stand on their own, who have tenure, and who haven't emotionally awakened from Woodstock quite yet. Soon you'll enter the workforce where there'll be a bathroom policy that you may or may not be able to even understand. Being part of Turning Point, you have already proven that you are unbowed to the leftist groupthink that threatens our country. You are not the future of our movement. You are the present-day warriors, and the stakes could not be higher in the battle of ideas. As the radical left tries to socially engineer an imaginary world without cars, cows, buildings, railroads, straws, or cheeseburgers, we all remain committed to the noblest social and political experiment in all of human history, the United States of America. No society of humans is ever perfect, but I am sick and tired of the left trying to make us all think that it is hateful or exclusive to be proud of America's heritage, history, and heroes. We should not be tearing down monuments. We should be adding to them for greater context and richer understanding. We never apologize for who we are as Americans, and we proudly stand to defend our Constitution, including the God-given right to keep and bear arms. We can always strive to be a more perfect union, but their version of perfection is a lot closer to my vision of hell. We'd eat nothing but kale and quinoa, flying around on our flatulent-free, non-gender-specific unicorns on our way to a Bernie Sanders-hosted drum circle. They'd make us dependent on the government cheese of health care. They'd destroy important social safety nets like disability insurance and Medicaid by turning them into hammocks for the lazy and unmotivated. Today's radical left would stuff the curriculum in our schools full of LGBTQA+ sensitivity training, and they would rip from the pages of history the valiant contributions of Washington and Jefferson and Madison, all flawed men, all American heroes. Worse yet, today's radical left would disarm law-abiding citizens and invite illegal immigrants, not just with open arms and open borders, but free transportation, free education, free health care, free cell phones, free child care, and more. And when they say free, they mean paid for by hard-working American taxpayers. The Venezuela wing of the Democratic Party has it wrong. Sir Winston Churchill had it right. Capitalism is the unequal sharing of profit. Socialism is the equal sharing of misery. And so here with the brave young patriots who will earn victory for this generation and those that follow, we proclaim that America will never be a socialist country. Freedom will reign on our watch, and everyday freedom that we enjoy is earned through the disproportionate sacrifice of military families. I represent more troops than any other member of Congress. I am incredibly proud of them, and it is on their behalf that I say thank you, President Trump, for rebuilding our military. I never want to send my neighbors into a fair fight, but I also don't want to send them to an unnecessary one. An America First foreign policy means strength at home and an end to the unfocused, unconstitutional regime change wars that occur in some of the planet's most miserable places. Since 2001, Since 2001, we have spent $6 trillion on Middle East wars. That's more than the market cap of Google, Amazon, Apple combined, plus the entire USA's student loan debt and credit card debt combined. Now, we didn't have $6 trillion lying around, so we borrowed that money against your future with interest. Having our country mired in forever Middle East wars is no way to win the 21st century against our real threat, China. But while we've been spending trillions of dollars trading the same villages back and forth in Afghanistan for the last 18 years, China has rapidly expanded their empire without quenching the thirst for hot wars. An America First foreign policy means we secure every inch of the U.S. border with Mexico before we send the first soldier, airplane, or dollar to defend Saudi Arabia's border with Yemen. We should avenge every innovative American company getting ripped off by China before we spill precious cash and blood avenging oil from Qatar or the United Arab Emirates in the Straits of Hormuz. As President Trump reminds us, economic security is national security, and the Trump economy is roaring. When we let people keep what they earn, America takes its rightful place leading the world. But we cannot be a great nation if we do not secure our border. Rational Democrats have given way to the squad. They're for open borders, free everything, and denigrating our law enforcement. Abolishing Border Patrol and ICE is an insane idea. Like, MS-13 isn't going to give up murder, rape, and carjacking in favor of organic gardening. Human smugglers aren't going to give up millions in revenue and trade it out for Andrew Yang's universal basic income. El Chapo's cartel isn't going to move from fentanyl to fennel or cocaine to kale in their growing operation. This is why we are committed to ending illegal immigration, defunding sanctuary cities, instituting E-Verify, and of course, building the wall to respond to the national security crisis we face. If cartels had lobbyists, the asylum laws would probably be written much in the way they are today. Our situation at the border is a humanitarian crisis because our laws themselves are a humanitarian crisis. Think about it. Instead of requiring migrants to show up and present documentation to enter our country legally, the laws we have in place call for them to just show up with a trafficked child. And the left tells us these asylum laws are humane. But there is nothing humane about children being stolen, rented, trafficked, sold, moved across the border, and then sent back into the arms of the cartels to do it all over again. And despite the obstruction by liberal judges and the increasingly dominant Venezuela wing of the Democratic Party, we are making progress on the border thanks to the outstanding leadership of President Trump. Ever since President Trump threatened Mexico with those tariffs until they took action, since then we've seen a 26% reduction in arrests at the border, a number so impressive, even the Washington Post had to give Trump credit for his deal-making skills. In all things, we conservatives try to apply common sense for the common good of common people. And yet the strength and simplicity and popularity and truth of our ideas has at times been a mixed blessing. Precisely because of the power and popularity of our ideas, too many on the left have long given up debating us in good faith. Rather than engaging in fair debate, the radical left, along with their allies in Silicon Valley and the fake news media, will simply attempt to defame, deplatform, and destroy anyone who effectively advocates for the America First agenda. And for too long, many on the right would allow this to happen, whether out of cowardice or stupidity or a common misplaced sense of chivalry. too many on the right would refuse to get serious and tough. They would win the battle of ideas, but treat that as a consolation prize for losing the war for our country with the left. And then something came along, or someone rather, who changed everything. And that person is my good friend and our president, Donald J. Trump. With President Trump, we finally had a leader who had the right ideas, but also knew how to fix it, how to mix it up in the fight and win. We finally had a leader who understood that the Marquis of Queensberry rules of engagement don't work when you're fighting an angry pack of hyenas. No longer will we let the unhinged Democrat left silence us. We will not give in or back down, and we will always speak the truth, even if it is politically incorrect. Because political correctness is not about civility. It's about control. And we refuse to let anything, whether it's Silicon Valley or the fake news or vindictive deep state bureaucrats, prevent us from speaking our mind and fighting for this country. And so, of course, the more the American people wake up, the more the Democrat left and their allies in Silicon Valley fight back, and they fight dirty. But when we point out the fake stories and the obvious bias, they act like we're attacking democracy itself. No one supports the free press more than us conservatives, but a free press does not mean that the press should be free from criticism, and they deserve criticism. The coverage of President Trump has been more negative than at almost any other time in American history, all this while our country is doing so well. The same people who scream, democracy dies in darkness, ridicule us when we try to expose how the corrupt Russia hoax began. Outside the media echo chamber, we see conservative voices being ripped from the digital public square. Prager University was punished by YouTube. Diamond and Silk were deemed a danger to society by Facebook. Diamond and Silk. The only thing they're a danger to are the left's stereotypes. Twitter shadow banned 4 members of Congress: Jim Jordan, Mark Meadows, Devin Nunes, and Matt Gaetz. That's a group I'm pretty proud to be a part of. It's not just that big tech is attempting to deplatform America First voices by means of social media censorship. Most astonishingly, we've learned that unelected bureaucrats, with the help of the media, have attempted to deplatform our America First president through the corrupt Russia hoax. History will see that Democrats accused Trump of being a Russian agent. They were wrong, then they debated impeaching him anyway. We've gone from tragedy to total farce. But no matter what, we will not be intimidated by the left's hoaxes, hypocrisy, or hate. They're fighting hard, but we're going to fight 10 times harder. We're going to outlast them, we're going to outfight them, we're going to out-trigger them, and we will prevail, because we're going to take our country back with a big patriotic smile. Because there has never been a more exciting or a more joyous time to be a proud American conservative. Thank you all so much for being a part of my squad. Thank you for being in the fight. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
Man, there's just something about you turns me to a savage.
All right, there you have it. Live look coming to us out of Washington, D.C. Turning Point USA holding its Teen Student Action Summit. Republican Florida Representative Matt Gaetz